Hello everyone and welcome to another custom figure showcase, and today I'm going to be showcasing you this, my updated Red Velvet Jacket 12th Doctor. But there are two things, before I just get into about this figure, there are two things that I just want to address. Firstly, the Doctor is in, so some of you are going to be wondering about this. Basically, as many of you will know, a long time ago, I believe it was one of the first videos, if not long after the first videos that I made, was my all 13 Doctors custom figure showcase, in which I showcased all of my Doctors that I have up on my shelves. And since I made that video, so many people have been asking me for another one, but I didn't want to do a whole updated video because I'd already shown some of the figures on my channel by this point. So I decided what was best to do is to create a whole new playlist of videos, a new sort of mini-series, as it were, called The Doctor Is In which case I do showcase all of those figures that I have standing on my shelves at the very top. Some of them are not titled as The Doctor Is In, actually, when you watch the video, because those are the ones that were already uploaded. And obviously, people who have been watching the playlist will now be seeing the introduction to The Doctor Is In of the 12th Doctor, because the Doctors are being shown out of order. But that is the reason for this playlist. So do check it out, because there are other videos already in there, and there will be more of them coming soon. The second thing that I want to address is some people are going to question, saying, well, hang on a minute, why this is a bit pointless now, because we are getting an official figure. And it's true, we are getting an official Red Velvet 12th Doctor, but as is always the way, I've had this on my shelves for a long time, and I've been meaning to do an updated video for it for a long time. And it's only now that I'm getting around to it, and it's just sod's law that now that I'm getting around to it, we're having an official release. However, this figure, although a custom one, does raise some interesting points regarding what could happen with the official figure, and for the moment I'm actually planning on keeping this one rather than buying the official one. So to take you over, first of all, what I've updated on this, it's very simple. Literally all I've done is I have given him a Series 9 head. That's pretty much all I've done there, which I have had to trim down slightly to make it fit on, which does mean there's a little bit of a gap. Which does make me wonder if the B&M version we're going to get is a Series 8 body with a Series 9 head. It either means that they are going to have to have re-sculpted the head, or it's going to have a giraffe head, or it's going to have a giraffe neck, sorry, or it's going to have a gap like this one here. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes together. But literally, apart from updating the head, as you can see, I've also given the hair a bit more of a grey-white wash overall to make it look a bit more like Capaldi's grey-white hair. And that's pretty much... Oh, the only thing I've done as well is I've added on some little bright red buttons on his jacket, as he does have them in the show. And that's pretty much all I've done to update this figure from the previous one. But I know some people are going to question the waistcoat. This was on my previous one, but this is the other reason why I wanted to make this video, is because I thought when the official figure does come out, if people want to do this conversion, this is a good way of showing them how to do it. So this is literally just a Bracewell waistcoat, which I've cut off the pegs on the back, and then if I lift up the side, all I've done, as you can see, is I have trimmed the waistcoat to be in line with the peg. So when the peg on the coat is closed, it holds the waistcoat in place. It needs to be trimmed off a little bit at the back, as it does stick out a little bit, and I did consider sculpting on a new waistcoat, but I thought this one it was just easier to use the Bracewell one, because it looks better, and it just I think it stands out best. But what I query as well is the fact that with these new B&M sets, we're getting a lot of new we're getting repaints, but we're also getting updated sculpts. And on the Series 8 body, which this is, the shirt front piece underneath the waistcoat here is just a shirt front piece. It's a separate piece. So it makes me wonder why, if they were chopping and changing parts over, and they were making new sculpts and things like that, why they just wouldn't have just, again, spent that little bit more to update the shirt front sculpt with a waistcoat. I mean, you know, as I've said before, you know, it's not just as easy as just creating a new part. It will cost them money, and it does cost time as well. But for the sake of giving people a figure that they've wanted from the very beginning, and a more accurate figure, just spending that little bit more money, it would have been a lot more popular, I think. So it's a shame that that's not going to happen by the look of it. But as I said, you know, if you can get hold of a Bracewell waistcoat, I would advise, personally, I would advise trying to get hold of a Bracewell waistcoat now, because I get the feeling that, or at least now at the time this video is coming out, because I get the feeling once the figure of the Red Velvet 12th Doctor comes out, there is going to be a huge rush and surge in prices for the waistcoats on the Bracewell figures, because they are generally the most commonly used ones. I know when the Series 8 Capaldis came out, there was a big surge on them and the prices went up, so I would advise getting them now. If you've got one spare, then certainly keep it to hand. Yeah, as I said, you know, I was planning to update this figure for quite a while, or I'm planning to do an updated video on this figure for quite a while. It's just sod's law that now that I've decided to get round to updating it, we have now had an official figure. But as I said, you know, I may buy the official figure if I can find it loose when the B&M sets come out, but I'm not bothered about getting the Missy figure, I'm not bothered about getting the Bill figure, so I probably won't buy the full set. So as it stands, I'm more happy to keep this custom version rather than get the official figure. But that brings to a close another custom figure showcase. As always, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, favorite, subscribe, share, it really helps me out a lot, and be sure to check the description below for a link to my Patreon. I'm doing my very first figure animation, and you can get involved. There is exclusive content and rewards for those who do so, and supporting my Patreon in any way gets your name at the end of my videos. I salute you all, and I will see you in another video very soon.